Hey, I'm Mac. Welcome back to my channel. And why am I trying to do a video with gum in my mouth? Sorry. That would be so annoying. And don't forget to like and subscribe. So today we're going to be doing a reaction video. You're getting a 3-in-1 today. I guess it's a flash sale, right? The first video that we're going to go through is from the Instagram page of Not Your Hun with underscores. And was posted by a Young Living distributor. And she's going to tell us how to get through trauma. So let's see what she has to say.
Health, because our emotions and our physical health are just so tightly interwoven. Okay, so yesterday as I was checking in, I realized, I think I'm feeling physically depleted because it's been an emotional week, and I wasn't emotional, so I'm not someone who necessarily has my emotions really at the close surface. So often it takes me physically feeling not good before I realize that there might be an emotional tie-in, and I've learned that about myself over a lot of years trying to figure out my own journey to better health. So anyway, when we talk about emotions and oils, I've just found it to be such a powerful piece of identifying emotions, processing emotions, channeling them properly, or even just releasing them, and not just for us, but for our kids. So one of my favorite emotional support oils, I have so many, but right now I'm focusing on inner child. They call inner child the therapist. I'll put a little slide.
You know what else they call a therapist? A therapist. Okay. Uh, and it's not even like it's metaphorical because they're actually recommending this for things that you should see a therapist about. An oil is not a substitute for a therapist. If you are having any kind of mental, problem and mental illness or whatever, you absolutely should see a therapist. Even if you don't have what's considered a mental disorder, if you're having difficulty working through something, you should see a therapist. They are very helpful. I'm just gonna read this out because I don't know if sometimes people might be listening and not watching the video. The therapist. Inner child is a beautiful blend of oils that are incredibly powerful when combined. The fragrance of this blend can help one reconnect with the inner self or identity, which is one of the first steps to finding emotional balance. Trauma, defined as any situation where you got less than you needed and were not equipped to process it, put a pin in that, of our childhood often disconnects us from our true selves, and this can manifest in many different ways in adulthood. Many times there were situations where someone as a child felt unseen, unheard, or unvalued. In order to move forward, it is important to look back and allow that inner child to speak out. Okay, that's not the definition of trauma that I've ever heard. It's similar to it, but that I find that that's very trivializing. Like it's kind of diminishing it by saying that it's just, oh, it's something where you didn't get what you needed and couldn't process it. Like that's I mean I it's like cheapening it. I'm gonna read from the DSM definition of trauma. Trauma is a direct personal experience of an event that involves actual or threatened death or serious injury, threat to one's physical integrity, witnessing an event that involves the preceding experience, learning about unexpected or violent death, serious harm or threat of death, or injury experienced by a family member or close associate. Memories associated with trauma are typically explicit, coherent, and difficult to forget. The person's response to aversive details of the traumatic event involves intense fear, helplessness, or horror. In children, it manifests as disorganized or agitative behaviors. Trauma can be caused by a wide variety of events, but there are a few common aspects. There is frequently a violation of the person's core assumptions about the world and their human rights. putting the person in a state of extreme confusion and insecurity. This is seen when institutions depended upon for survival violate, humiliate, betray, or cause major losses or separations, instead of evoking aspects like positive self-worth, safe boundaries, and personal freedom. So that's a very different picture than the definition that was provided in that slide there. And I think that that's really important to point out.
I actually don't believe that you need to have had something like massively traumatic to benefit from inner child happening in your childhood, because as it says, it's really just anything that happened that you weren't equipped to process. So when we're kids, that's a lot of things. We don't make sense of the world around us.
All right, we have another slide here that I'm going to read. When someone tries to be honest, especially friends and family, we continually hear their voice criticizing us for months afterward. We find ourselves revisiting the same short list of past hurts on a regular basis, telling stories about what someone did or said to us, thinking each time that if we just vent, the pressure of that pain or offense will let up. Okay, that doesn't make sense. We create an image of ourselves, typically a bad one, and no matter what we do to take care of ourselves, that recording makes sure we stay ashamed, disappointed, and hopeless. Or we finally start feeling better about ourselves because we have fulfilled an imaginary list of things that will make us feel accomplished, only to find the stress of keeping up with that list starts to slowly steal from our relationships and our sanity. I just find this to be very almost insulting and very simplistic. It has kind of the sheen of being sound, but it's not. And I really don't think that it's someone who is a young living distributor's place to be offering this kind of counseling or pseudo counseling or pseudo psychological advice. Like, you're not qualified, and what you're talking about is a fairly serious issue.
I underlined the things that really resonated with me. It may be different for you, and it might be that this oil isn't one that you could benefit from right now, and that's fine. There are emotional support blends that are specially formulated for different needs, and all I can say, the 2 years I've been really focusing on emotional health with oils, I have come to so many new insights about myself, and it has been so helpful in helping my kids and also giving them tools to help themselves. So let's talk about how to use it.
All right, here's another slide. You can also apply some around the navel and rub a drop into your palms to inhale directly. Think about some of the patterns that came to mind as you read through this and ask yourself, what else is possible? How does this old memory / pattern benefit me? Can I release this? Don't push too hard to answer the questions yet. Sit with them, because this tape has probably been on repeat in your cells for a long time. It's always about the intention you bring. Oils aren't pharmaceuticals. They help your body unlock its own ability to process. So frustrating. Okay. This just seems totally inappropriate for Young Living, an essential oil company, to be offering this kind of counseling about a serious issue. I don't understand what makes them feel like they're qualified for this. You could give somebody some really bad advice with this, and you could be causing them to not seek out the help that they actually need, because you're giving them therapist in the form of some fucking oil blend instead of, how about a real therapist? Someone to talk to who can have a conversation with you so that you can process the things that we were talking about. Okay, sure, yeah, you can do some self-help processing of things, but it's not, there's no substitute for having a therapist who can go through things with you and have a conversation with you so that you can process a thing and get past it. it's very patronizing and very insulting and very just inappropriate for Young Living. I don't know who made these slides for them. I don't know if they're specific to Young Living. But it's very inappropriate for them to be inserting themselves into this issue. I can't. It makes me so mad, honestly. I don't know how I'm holding back right now. And I would also like to just add that pharmaceuticals require intention as well. Nothing's going to suddenly make you feel better on its own. A pharmaceutical is going to get you into a place where you might be able to go seek out therapy or whatever else you may need. But if you are not making any effort on top of the pharmaceutical, that's not going to work either. So I just wanted to clear that up real quick because that's very important. All right, so now we know how to cure trauma. You just saw it right there. If you want to do aromatherapy, be my guest, but please don't ever use essential oils as a replacement for actual help, and don't go around talking out of your ass and trivializing real trauma. I don't know if she has actual what would be considered psychological trauma or not. I don't know. But the way that she defined it and the way that she expressed it very much cheapened it. It made it sound like something that only happens in childhood, which it's not. It can happen at any point in your life. And it made it sound like, oh, it was, it could just be this trivial thing because it could be any event where you didn't get what you needed. Like, no, it's a serious event that causes harm, or you see somebody get harmed, you see a family member get harmed, or there's a threat, there's something that, that violates your expectations of the world and changes it in a very destructive way that makes you feel helpless and threatened and insecure. And I feel that if that's the way that you're going to gloss over it, then maybe you just shouldn't be giving people advice on trauma or talking about it on social media in the first place. If you're not going to give the topic the respect it deserves and the research that it deserves, and approach it with caution and care, and not something that you can just throw a fucking essential oil at. All right, let's move on to the next topic.
You want to know why I am such a hot mess 25/8 at all times, and y'all are always like, girl, you need to get it together? I'm on Zoom 4 of 6 today. I still am wearing the clothes that I put on this morning over my pajamas. My pajamas are still under this sweatshirt. No makeup. Put my hair up in a ponytail while I got my nails done because that was the only free time I had today. I'm sitting on a Zoom that's about to start in 10 minutes, and I just scarfed my dinner down because that's the only time in between that I have until 10 o'clock tonight. And then I have FaceTimes with my new distributors. So for those that think that network marketing is not a real job and that you just get lucky when you find success, no. You get lucky because you work your freaking ass off. Like, I literally work all the time, and I love it, and I wouldn't trade it for anything, but it's a lot of work, and I'm just showing y'all what my life looks like right now and what it's looked like today. It's hectic, and I had 3 Zooms up until 11 o'clock last night, went to bed, woke up, did a journaling Zoom, and now I'm doing it all again.
Interesting. Okay, first of all, why did you get your nails done instead of taking a fucking shower? I don't understand. Did you go get your nails done? Because I have many questions about that. That doesn't sound safe, but like, what, or did you do your nails? Again, why did you do your nails instead of taking a shower and getting out of your nasty pajamas. Like, and it's not that we don't think you spend a lot of time doing it. We don't think it's a real job because you don't take a shower and change out of your pajamas. That's why. No, there's many other reasons, but I don't know if I'm supposed to be impressed. Okay. That's super great, I guess, that you're gonna do that. Cool. Nobody should ever have to accept that amount of work ever. Okay, I'm glad that's good for you. Cool. Enjoy. Personally, I'm not going to be on my deathbed regretting that I didn't put in 18 hours at the warehouse. I would probably more so regret not finishing a song or something that I wanted to create, or spending more time with, friends and family. But, I'm sure ItWorks is great too. Jesus. And start taking a shower, please. Also, the answer here is not to forego showering and wolfing down dinner. I would be looking into why are our Zoom calls taking so much time, and is there something that we can do to have fewer of them? Because you should be getting more done. Like, there should be more stuff being produced if you're spending this much time. Like, there should be better results. The answer is not to do more and to squeeze your life into a tinier and tinier box. The answer would be, why are our Zoom calls taking so long? Why do we need so many of them? And are they all necessary? But, that's just me. Yeah. I guess that's what happens when you aren't paying people for all the work they do. Time management, I'm telling you. All right, let's look at the last video. This video was posted on antiMLM Scams Instagram page, and it's great. I love it. A Monat distributor is going to show us why their heat protectant cream is so incredible. And personally, I'm convinced. I'm so excited.
They have taken our thermal heat protectant, right, and put it on a piece of bread and toasted it, okay? Of course, then my mind starts to wonder, well, what's the control? What if I put mayonnaise on it? Is it still gonna burn? What if I put butter on it?
All right, white people, you can't just solve every problem by putting mayonnaise on it.
So I'm gonna do 2 pieces of bread. The first one, I will have our blowout cream and our thermal heat protectant. And then the second one, I am going to do butter and mayonnaise because I want to see what happens. So let's see. blew me away a little bit more than I was expecting, okay? So, I saw that obviously this was the thermal heat protectant, okay? I had this thing in there and it started to smoke. It was getting pretty charred, like pretty bad. Thermal heat protectant, our blow dry cream. Holy cow. And I did. I left a little line in between, right? Okay, see? And then I was like, okay, the butter and the mayonnaise is not gonna burn.
What? Has she ever made grilled cheese? Jeez. Also, like, she put barely any mayonnaise and barely any butter on, but she put gobs and gobs of the Monat products. Also, like, is she still gonna make toast in this toaster? Oh. That's so stupid.
While I left it in there a really long time. It didn't get as charred as the back, and that's what I wanted to see. So it didn't get as charred as nothing, right? Because there's nothing there there's no heat barrier. Here, we've got mayonnaise and butter, and maybe this is butter, maybe that's mayonnaise. I can't remember now. But we've got some sort of barrier between the heat, right? But I mean, look at the difference. Literally, same time, and look at the difference. This protects up to 450 degrees. This one has a protectant up to 350 degrees. And I mean, seriously, it's still soft. It's still soft. I'm really blown away.
It's like, what am I supposed to get from this? I'll stop putting mayonnaise on my hair before I blow dry. Like, look at yourself. You're buttering bread and putting mayonnaise on it and then putting it in the toaster. Oh, but on the other slice, you're putting hair products in your face. What are we doing? Like, what did that prove? Seriously. All right, like, oh my god, that's my favorite video. So, I'm convinced. I am convinced now. The time to use mayo and butter to protect your hair from the toaster, those days are officially over. Okay, you gotta put Monat on it before you put your hair in the toaster. I've been Mac. Peace out. Bye.